Wow, what an intro. Woo. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your world-famous Uncle Rico Show with your world-famous Uncle Rico host. You know Anthony Zenhauser. You know Mr. Mike Morse. Of course, you know Miss Lucy Tightbox that joins us every Thursday. Tightbox Thursdays, as we all love them. And a special guest tonight. He's not Discount Don. He's Producer Don, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us, this is the gentleman that worked with John and Royce back in the day on the podcast, was a producer. What the hell is that sound?
A motorcycle.
Wow, that's loud.
It is very loud.
That was almost
that guy
scary.
Has a huge penis.
Yeah. Lucy always thinks that, by the way.
I heard it and I thought, oh, hopefully that didn't come through.
Yeah. No, all good. It was almost as frightening as the John Halloween haunted intro.
That was fantastic, by the way.
Yes. Shout out to Mars putting that together. Fantastic. I saw Don, you were enjoying the songs in the countdown. That was fun seeing your reaction to it. I gotta be honest.
My favorite were the gnarled fingers playing the piano. and then that animated puppet at the end is brilliant.
Oh, I mean it's identical to the real puppet, Don. It's right here.
That's beautiful.
I don't have the thing in the back hooked up, but it spits water. It drools water. Look at how he looks exactly like the puppet now.
Separated at birth. I mean, can you believe this guy's suing us?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What a poor sport. Wow. So thank you, first of all, for doing this. Guys, do me a favor. There's about coming up on 900 here. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. I was talking about this earlier. You know, when you did your AMA on Reddit, the Dabbleverse was really just starting out, right? And so we've had so many years now of people studying, watching, so much content that John has provided. And now I think there's so many more questions people have that maybe you were there for or could shed some light on or are familiar with. So I think it's going to be great to revisit this, and I'm excited. I don't know that you've ever heard the AI super tip system, but check this out. This is from Nobody's Business.
Top 10 stuttering John pickup lines. Number 10, you like Bush Light because I don't like a lot of hair down there. Number 9, you must be Bruno Mark because I'd borrow $40 to stick my foot in you. Yeah. Number 8, I work out almost every day. I work out of my mother's house. Number 7, are you a Swiffer closet? Because I was tripping all over myself to get to you. Number 6, hawk, sorry, pal, hawk, I, huh, I didn't, hawk, I didn't, hawk, I didn't, no, she hawk, she was your girlfriend. It's the top 5 later in the show.
Thank you, Duke. Thank you.
His pickup lines are better than his stand-up.
Yeah. Now I'm starting to think Nobody's Business is a former Letterman writer, maybe, but that's great.
At least his pickup lines would make people laugh.
We just brought Don on to show him all our stupid shit. We're not even going to get to questions.
Yeah.
The volume of stuff that has been in the Dabbleverse, it's just incredible to me that such a talentless slob has spawned so many talented people and brought so many creative things to light. And that's what I enjoy more than anything is seeing what people put together. And that's why I keep checking on Reddit every day just to see what's out there.
Yeah, I agree. Through the course of doing this show, we've met and are working with so many talented people that are like, not him, but everybody else. No, everybody is just amazing. They're inspired. They're passionate about it. they can't wait. They can't wait to do the next thing and to put that smirk on that face. Yeah.
And the great thing is every day he goes on and says, I'm more talented than everybody. And he never does one funny or interesting thing. Meanwhile,
Not a one.
like Don said, everybody, both on camera, off camera, watching, are just miles above him.
Well, so if you have a question for Don, you can do either here on YouTube. You could do it on Super Tip. I would like. Oh, Don, are you prepared for STDJ's wrath for turning on him? Hi, Lucy. Oh, hey, Don. Both of them.
Oh, hey, Eugene.
He turned on me a long time ago. There was,
Right.
but it's not going to amount to anything.
Right.
I mean, he's Stuttering John. What? Nobody takes him seriously, and for good reason.
That's the
So
thing.
no, I'm not worried about sharing any information from my past. It was my past too.
Right. You're allowed to talk about your past. Yeah, you're allowed to have opinions that may differ from Stuttering John. Although I don't think he's come full circle with that idea that people are allowed to have different opinions. I have a question for you off the bat. I'm going to be greedy and start because I'm curious about if you were there during the mole phase of the podcast where John was talking about how he had moles at Sirius giving him information.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So he claims now that he said a lot of people were his mole. I specifically remember him saying me over and over again that I was his mole publicly on his podcast. I'm curious if he ever talked to you about that privately.
No, never privately. And he never, even off the air, never revealed, honestly, who he was still talking to,
Right?
Unless we were trying to get them on the show or calling. Like we'd called Gary a couple of times, and that went nowhere. Of course, he wasn't going to do the show.
Right.
But he always claimed to have that inside information about what was still happening on the show, but I never knew exactly where it came from or if it was factual or not.
He seemed to go after JD quite hard, and he, by saying I'm his mole, feeding him information, I feel like myself and JD were his targets to try and get us fired out of the job, lose our gig. Is there anything that he ever mentioned about that, or you just know, like I do, that he's just a bitter, spiteful fucking guy that would do that because he's not
he
there?
Never admitted wanting to, like, he always kept that I don't care attitude about, but obviously he cared. Right. I mean, he was consumed by what was happening at the Stern show. And I think it was because it was still on. I mean, if Leno had stayed on, he would have been consumed by that, maybe both at the same time, or one or the other. But yeah, I mean, he's a jealous, petty person. So anyone out there that he perceives as doing better than him, he's going to take issue with and look for some way to tear them down or, pick at them a little bit. As you well know, I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to start off with those two questions because I had a feeling you were there during that time, and I was just curious if he had ever mentioned anything. Because it's funny that you say he never mentioned off air who his mole was, but he had no problem going on the air and naming people who are his moles.
Right. Well, we're always, Royce and I would ask if, who were you actually talking to? Do you actually have, somebody there? Because Royce wanted whoever it was on the show.
Right. To corroborate what they're saying.
Yes. And just to get another name, another interesting person, something to put out there to the world. After the Trump call, there was really nothing left. A few good guests that jumped on board because of the prank call, and they quickly saw the light of day and weren't going to be involved. Right. And then there was nothing left. Royce was in scramble mode. And that's when they put together that special that they had Billy come on and Jackie come on, because they couldn't get anything else going. No one was interested in the Stuttering John business.
Anybody have a question before I go to the chat, guys? You got something? Maybe we'll do a question.
Well,
and then we'll
I had a little something. I watched that podcast that he did with Billy and
Jackie.
I paid for it too. I think it was like $1.99 or something. It was very cheap. Like, and he didn't even sell it well. How big of a pain in the ass was he to work with? Like, what was he like on during the whole shoot? Was he a bigger pain in the ass than Billy and Jackie, as far as
Billy and Jackie were not at all a pain in the ass. If anything, I sensed that Billy was a little standoffish, which makes perfect sense to me because he's of everybody in the building, he was the only person with a still active and successful career. And you could kind of see in his face, maybe, what did I just get myself into? So I felt like he was maybe a little caught off guard or a little skittish.
Was he sandbagged?
No. And Jackie was an absolute gentleman. Every minute that he was there, he was friendly to everyone who talked to him. He made time for his fans. He took photos with people. I mean, he was just generally friendly to everyone. He was a little demanding. I remember Royce, getting his list of wants, his rider, as it were, to come to LA and do a show, X number of time at this hotel and whatever. But when he was there, he was definitely a professional from the moment he got on property until we wound down that evening. John, on the other hand, Royce had to monitor his drinking very closely. He had a bartender because he had some VIP guests, and so he had a little bartender going, and he was part of the reason she was there was to meter out John's beers, because
literally John's beers.
He finishes them and then right away wants another one. So she had to pretend not to see him, or Royce had to wave it off or something, because Royce had so much invested. And as you well know, the more beers you feed John, the more he's going to drink.
Yep. And
that would have just tanked and for Royce, it was a big investment and a big gamble. That's for sure.
And to that end, did you ever socialize outside the show? Did you guys ever go out to a bar or restaurants or?
Never to a bar or restaurant. I've been to his apartment. We hung around at the arcade. It had a very, social atmosphere.
Right.
For a while, there were beers. But once it became clear that John was going to abuse them, the beers were gone, and the show got moved from like 3 or 4 in the afternoon to 10 or 11 in the morning. So instead of drunk John, you got hungover John.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, no. And I never wanted to.
Right.
I had years ago, in what I would call another life, I had been on the road doing stand-up. I started as a Florida comic in Bonkers. Did work for Bonkers and Giggles in the South, Tribble runs, all the normal like up and coming stand-up guy. And when I was in LA, I went to an open mic before I knew John, and he was there doing the same exact act. So I had already formed my opinion of him before I really knew him.
Right.
And no offense to Howard, I listened to Howard on and off, but I had moved to Florida just around the time he was really blowing up nationally, and I wanted to tune into Florida stations.
Right.
So I really wasn't paying as much attention, and I think that's something that John never cared for. That I knew very little about his history on the Stern Show. I just knew the highlights or things I might have seen on E.
So that was insulting. That was like insulting to him. Wow.
Yes. Like I could tell you all about Hank when Hank the Drunken Dwarf was on, because he was hilarious. You wanted to watch and listen to him.
Yeah.
But what John didn't bring much unless Howard was berating him. I would tune in to watch.
I mean, think about it. He doesn't realize this, but it makes sense. He's bringing nothing to the table. He has zero to offer. So his best bet is that you remember his past, that you remember what he did back in the day. Because if you don't know anything about him now, about his past, this is not going to work. This is it's the only shot he's got.
Exactly. And that was something that Royce definitely fell prey to. He was a Howard Stern fan since childhood, grew up listening to him in junior high, him and his friends. He had a friend from junior high come out and help set that whole arrangement up. And so they were like two little kids living out their dream. And I get it. But he was very blinded to what was happening. He had a very successful little business going there that he sort of pushed to the back burner in favor of trying to get something going with John and, make himself a player in the entertainment industry. And that's when I lost respect for him.
Gotcha.
Real quick follow-up on the socializing. Did you ever see, even when he was working, or did you ever see him drink anything except beer, alcoholic-wise?
I don't
He's
think
doing
so.
a lot of orange
we smoked
juice
some weed
these days.
off and on. but he would come in. I mean, he drank non-alcoholic. I mean, orange juice. Yeah, he would come in with the orange juice, just like on the show. Same.
Are we sure it's not? There was nothing in it. That's what I'm asking.
Oh no, I don't think so. He was. He was just walking in the door from the store at 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning.
Right.
You could tell still sick from the night before. Leary-eyed.
If it was 1 in the afternoon, it'd probably have vodka in it.
Could be. Yeah. No, this one he was still just coming back to life.
I had a quick one before we moved too far away from it. I had a bunch of other questions, but I got completely distracted. Will you just kind of give us an idea what his apartment was like since you said you went over there?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very superficial question, but I'm curious.
That's all right. It's the now infamous one that was across from the Home Depot.
Okay. The complex.
Yep, exactly. Yep. The complex itself, kind of a standard Los Angeles style apartment, 2 stories. I describe those as sort of looking like a motel. They're not enclosed, so you have an open air walkway. So you go up the stairs, down the hallway, into the apartment. Immediately there was a stairway going up, and his art, like those dollar bill things glued to a canvas, and that stuff was on the wall. There was a definite. You could tell there were cats. The cat smell hit you right away.
Oh, no.
I'm a dog person, not so much of a cat person, so it's one of those things I noticed right away. Yeah. And it was pungent. There's no question. Oof. And clutter is an understatement. Like, just every flat surface was covered in something: empty cans, empty bottles, empty bags. I didn't go into his kitchen. I definitely didn't want to. Smart. It wasn't long after that he invited Royce and I over for dinner, and I was like, "Oh no, absolutely not! No
bad shit casserole. Let's
and
go."
He was complaining that he had a fly problem. He had flies in his in and around his kitchen. He said, "I'm Lord of the Flies all of a sudden," and this is not a normal people don't have this problem. But yeah, it was everything that is described and everything that kind of is talked about it is accurate. It wasn't an awful neighborhood. I didn't feel unsafe. I would have walked down the street there at night. There were families there. He had his a vehicle, a car at the time, and a motorcycle parked there, but the motorcycle wasn't running.
What kind of car was he driving at the time?
Oh boy, it was a very average, like, American sedan. I'm not a big car person, so I wouldn't have, really recorded what, I don't know, like a Kia something, or just an average, like, 4-door sedan, run of the mill, not like a BMW or an Audi or whatever he claims to drive these days.
Did he seem proud of his living situation? You know how, like, sometimes you walk into somebody's house and it's disgusting, but they still are, like, showing everything off to you?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because it's the same highlights that he'll show you, the autographed, the autographed jersey, the art, some of the art. I didn't read it all. It looked like there was poetry or something written in with the. But
sure it wasn't his dog's diploma from obedience school?
Yeah, it may very well have been. He just acted oblivious to it, as if it was perfectly normal that you would walk into a cesspool in an apartment. Very much like the hoarder people who aren't ashamed. You see them on that show, and they should be deeply, deeply ashamed, and they're just oblivious to how crazy they live.
Okay, we got a lot of questions. So,
wow.
Yeah, a lot of people want to pick your brain here.
Okay.
First off, Tanner says that apartment is 2 blocks from the Pulp Fiction pawn shop.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Mark Turquoise, did any of his family ever stop by, or did he ever talk about his kids or ex-wife?
He did talk about his kids and ex-wife actively. One thing, I remember specifically, he wanted to see if anybody had an old iPhone for his son.
What is all his electronics are hand-me-downs. He did a cancer benefit and bought some fucking broken iPad off of a bar buddy and sent it to somebody dying of cancer.
Wow.
I saw that. I followed that story. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him, but that was just a grift, I guess.
So he's looking for an older phone to give to his kids?
To give to his kid. Yeah, his son had broken or lost his phone and needed to replace it. So we wanted to see if either of us had just an old one, like we had traded in and had an old one. And I didn't. Actually, I did, but it was actually physically broken. It was cracked, broken. I brought it just to show him. So
that's all right. That'll work.
Yeah, well, just so because he's Stuttering John. If you say, "Oh no," or it's broken, he's going to push back. So rather than argue with him, it's easier to show him the broken phone and say, "Sorry, man, that's all I got."
Right.
SJ drinks vodka martinis to take the edge off. Yes. Did he ever? Were you with him when he got served arrears and he had to go to court?
No,
for child support.
No, I know that I wasn't with him when he got served. I know that he had to go to court and he had a whole legal situation with his ex. And that was a constant back and forth. And I do know that for a while there, I had access to his email and his Twitter and some other pieces of social media. And I was posting on his behalf.
Right.
Usually what Royce would direct me to post, not anything that he had, because they were just dying, practically dormant accounts, other than the occasional crazy rant. He didn't have much going on. And I remember seeing emails from the California benefits, like you're on like Medi-Cal.
Assistance, right?
Assistance, yes, definitely. And so that public assistance thing, which made me wonder immediately. I'm like, well, how did you go from the Leno show to public assistance? Like, I've never been on the Leno show, and also never been on public assistance. I've just kind of been, you know what I mean? Just
you figured something out.
Well, if you got to the Leno show, you'd probably stay in that area. That's the goal, is to kind of keep in that Leno area. And sometimes you might go to the middle a little bit, but then you try to get back up a little bit, but going all the way down, that's
I mean, at some point you got to make a stop at Enterprise Rent-A-Car and work there for a stint before you go to assistant.
No, he did not have a worker's spirit. Part of the deal that Royce was helping him get his podcast going was that he was helping Royce move arcade machines. That was part of his business. He rented machines out. He had machines in offices. He would rent them out to parties and events. So sometimes they were in private homes. Sometimes they were in, ballrooms or, facilities for these events. And that was one of John's roles, was to go and work the dolly and move arcade machines and physically drag them around. He and a couple other guys that worked for Royce. And, he would come back just exhausted, covered in sweat, beat up, complaining about, the narrow walkway they had. And I had to go up these stairs and all the stuff he had to do. And that was another I used to love, because I spent all my time at Royce's on a computer. I was building things so I had the cool air-conditioned comfy job. John was
what was he making an hour there, do you think?
He was constantly in Royce's pocket, so I couldn't tell you. That was a complaint Royce had.
Never enough.
He was always had his hand out. And they had a joke. He would call himself, he'd say, well, I'm your cash cow. Yeah. So, which never.
He's everyone's cash cow.
Cash, he's the size of a cow. Sure, yeah.
He's everyone's cash cow but himself. That seems to be the one hurdle. Dave Valenzuela, what's it like to be on the receiving side of an SJ arm grab and drunken guffaws at his own jokes? Have the nightmares stopped?
It's just like any other obnoxious drunk person that corners you. It's very uncomfortable, but you have the added smell of those white canvas shoes he would wear that were absolutely repugnant. And when I actually finally saw the toenails, it all made sense.
And no socks.
These shoes?
No. Oh no, they were white, but more or less the same. Yeah, those are checker Vans, but these were just like a white or cream color, but I'm pretty sure they were white when they started out.
Hey, Shuli, can we go back to him having his hands in Royce's pocket thing for a second?
Oh,
so do you mean in addition to his pay, like he would get paid and then be coming back?
He would hit Royce up all the time. Hey, do you have some cash, or could I get some money from you? And it was usually before he was going to the bar.
Did Royce ever say what amounts he was asking for?
Well, Royce would have less and less on him at any given time. So it was kind of like,
John would take whatever was in his
whatever
pocket.
he could get. Definitely.
Did he ever hit you up for money?
No. And I definitely would not have indulged him. But no, thanks.
Kind of because what he does now is he finds people that are his friends. He calls them friends, but what they really do is they just do all the work for him. They give him favors.
That was Royce.
Company. That's Royce. Were you ever in that situation where he was trying to finagle you to do things for him and ask you for things, like kind of like almost like you were working for him?
Oh yeah, for sure. We definitely had to remind him that I don't work for him. I worked for Royce, and if Royce said to do a thing, I did the thing because he signed the checks.
That's right.
And that was the way it was. I did help him put together some audition material. I vaguely remember it was for something in Florida, and he was reading ad copy, and I was recording and monitoring the levels and cut something together for him that he was able to send off. Obviously that bore no fruit either. Right. But that was a little side project that he had. And he always had design, I guess this was in combination with Royce because they wanted to build up the website and build the presence. That logo he uses, that red kind of windy, and it's a distorted rough draft of one that I was designing right before I left. It was supposed to be a red carpet that kind of also led up into a microphone because the plan was he was going to go back out and do like the red carpet questions, assault people, which, as we know, never paid off. So just before parting ways, that was, a rough, like a 5-minute, hey Royce, what do you think of this? Is something I should keep going with, or and there it sat. And now years later, the Dabbleverse emerged, and I'm watching and I'm like, he's still using it.
Oh, that's crazy.
First draft is perfect for this guy.
That is that logo, that. Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah,
that's a first draft. The rough draft. He was working on something. It wasn't even complete. John's like, perfect. I love it.
Anyone that knows me, I always say, I got to get the first one out. It's going to be garbage. The first one's always garbage. I got to get out of my head. And usually while I'm doing it, I think of the better idea.
Right.
And that's just how it works. But
this was
garbage that I was doing to get out of my head.
I have one more question for Don, Shuli, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Hi, Don. Great insight. Did you used to have a physical reaction when you'd hear John entering a room? Headache, spasms? How did your body react to being in his presence?
It's Jerry Lewis wanted to check in and ask.
It's funny because it was during this period of my life, far and away was the lowest point of my life. Working for Royce wasn't a dream job. It was just a better case scenario and a hope that, I might find a way to get my life back on track. I was just surviving and just in a dark, unhappy place. And I had to work through some personal stuff, and I was doing that during that time of my life. So anytime that John came in, it was almost like a gut punch that I would wonder how I allowed my life to get to the point that it was. No one was impressed that, I'd say, well, I'm producing this Stuttering John podcast. They'd laugh like I was kidding. They're like, no, really, what are you doing?
Ooh, the Stuttering John?
That's really what I'm doing.
Nobody two-hand shoved you like Elaine and Jerry. Like, what? Get out of here.
Well, I think John's an inspiration to a lot of people. There's a lot of people who used to be alcoholics in the chat who are now sober from watching
it's
John.
It's true. Yeah.
As well.
Look what this guy's done.
They marked the date when they stopped drinking, and a lot of it's due to John. And I'm sure you probably felt at some point you were like, well, I got to get my shit together and get moving. Yeah.
Yes. I kind of credit that time. That was a definite turning point in my life, actually. And within months after leaving Royce, my life began to take off. And Beautiful. I don't know why I'm going to share this, but when you're taking GPS directions, I used to drive into work. I was doing programming at a company in Hollywood, and I would drive into the parking lot, and just as the directions end, it says, "You've arrived." And I remember feeling like such a sense of relief that I'm like, I really have. I got away from that disaster.
I love that. Frog, what was your question, buddy?
I wanted to know if Don recognizes these items.
Oh, those cushions from his house?
Yes.
Oh,
those were his couch cushions. They made in first of all, he took the furniture that he didn't want to move and threw it out onto the street in LA in Canoga Park, which that's a no-no.
Yeah, it's a no-no, but unfortunately a common practice.
Yes, absolutely, especially in Canoga Park. I got to be honest. But so a fan ended up going over there and taking some photos. And, wait, you think that's funny? They ended up making a trip to Rochester where they were prominently displayed under black lights for all attendees of DabbleCon 2 to enjoy, which I don't know if we have any pictures of those. And legally, I don't know if we can show them cum on YouTube, cum stains. But Couch was riddled with them.
It's like he had never heard it. Like he still doesn't understand the internet. That everything he does is recorded for all time, that so much of the internet, he calls them trolls, but that's what it's always been about, is people seizing on something and building it into something else. That's been part of the excitement of the internet. Otherwise, would all still be on AOL. I mean, exactly. So how he can put himself publicly out there and then be surprised when people, now I'm surprised that somebody went to the effort to go and get that.
Yeah.
But I'm also impressed because, like I said earlier, it's this Dabbleverse of people just pulling out all the stops, all this talent.
And that was a very talented guy named Sheet Shitterson.
Well, look who it is. Sheet Shitterson, the one and only. What's the grossest thing that John ever did? He seems like a guy who wipes once after a deuce and smells like shit the rest of the day. Oh, wait.
Definitely didn't wash his hands after using the bathroom, you could hear. We were in close quarters, so you could definitely hear the piss and the lack of running water afterward. Which I don't think I ever was in a position to have to shake hands with him. Maybe when I first met him, but like I had already had an opinion of him then, and it was very confusing because Royce held him in such high regard. The other, of course, up close and personal, the constant filth and dirt under his nails, which I never understood. And not on the rest of his, like it wasn't like he was a mechanic, like he was coming in covered in grease.
Watching Lucy.
I had an uncle that worked in a print shop when I was a kid, but his whole hands were black from the ink. John just had the filth just under his nails. Like
he's like a coal miner without the coal mine.
It's because he's not washing his hands. That's so disgusting. We look at that. Women look at that because we don't want those fingers near our hoo-has. That's disgusting.
Could you imagine?
There's the Concord finger we designed.
That has only gotten worse over the years. That finger is quite impressive. I had to have finger surgery this summer, and that was my first thought: is please don't let me end up with a freak hand like John. And I'm doing my physical therapy exercises every day, trying to make sure it doesn't turn into a weird hook.
There is an army
of off if that happens.
Yeah, there is an army of people who get up every day and their main goal is to not be like John. Whether it's drinking, fingers, whatever, their goal is to not be like that guy. James, how quickly did Don realize Stuttering? Instantly. You didn't even let me finish the question. Was there a singular moment or was it a buildup? Great question.
No, there was a little bit of a buildup. He clearly didn't have his act together, but that's not unusual. I'd been knocking around comedy in the entertainment industry. I'd been in LA for a few years at that point. So very few people in the entertainment business really do have their act together. That's one of the things, in my opinion, that separates the people who make it from the people who are always swinging away. A lot of the successful comics I know always had a notebook in their pocket, and they were always pulling it out and writing. And that was something I know I was awful at. So, when I first met him, I didn't know the whole story. And the way Royce framed it was that it was good. They were helping each other out, and it was going to be great for the business. And it was interesting. I had seen his stand-up, but that's not unusual. I didn't know where he was in his stand-up career. It was awful, but I didn't immediately, judge him poorly until I spent a little bit of time around him, but very little bit of time.
There's nice people that are shitty comics,
Yeah, absolutely. It's not for everyone. And comedy's hard. When you start off, you're lost. It takes a while to figure out, how to make a room full of people laugh. So I didn't know where he was in that process. And now as time has gone on, I've learned that he's nowhere in that process. He just declared himself a comic and can't figure out why he's not being headlined around doing the same old act.
I remember that you were a fan of neither John nor Royce, but what ended that show?
For me specifically, I'll share my ending. I woke up one morning, and again, very depressed place, and John had tweeted something about his prowess on the show, and I just unloaded. I'm like, there's 3 people on that show was the theme of it.
Right.
And I just, went right to town, got ready, drove to Royce's. And by the time I got there, Royce was standing at the door. Well, hey man, can't have you going off on the celebrities like that. What if that were AJ Benza? I'm like, I've laughed about that example for years. Like, what if it was AJ Benza? But, I mean, I was just as fed up could be, and it felt good to unload. And when we got there, I take that back. You know what? I left out a crucial part of that story. I'm sorry. It was actually the next day Royce was waiting at the door for me. That immediate day, they were waiting to do a show, and they had worked out a plan together to ambush me, and I wasn't going to play. They thought they were going to make good radio. And I told them to go fuck themselves. And they were using my equipment, my board, my computer, my mics, my cables, my time. Fuck it. So I packed it all up. And then Royce was like, well, we'll figure out what to do with you. And then the next morning, that's when Royce was like, yeah, I got to let you go. Didn't want to let me in the office to get my things.
That's bullshit.
Like,
it's
I got a breakfast bar in there, Royce. Do you need the breakfast bar? Or can I get it for the drive home?
It's like 2 Stern fans trying to do a cosplay of the Stern Show on you.
Yeah, but I just wasn't going. I didn't care about the little show. It wasn't going to be good radio or good podcasting. There was no point, and I was miserable.
How long did they last together after you left?
I had just a matter of months, I think. I remember seeing them at the time. They were revamping the space and moving out of where we were recording, which was in a back unprotected warehouse area, uninsulated. Right. If it were hot outside, it was hot in the warehouse. Cold, it was cold. And then he did have an office area that he'd moved the show into. Now he rented that space out for other filming projects. Right. So there were other shows that rented it just to set themselves up. So there was an office space that professionals had come in, and I think they hung some wood on the wall. They redid the ceiling. It was if you ever saw a video of a nicer looking space, I think they had a video screen. That was my old office, and that was turned into their recording space.
Gotcha.
And then I remember their falling out and I wasn't there to see it, but with the Royce claiming John almost hit him with the car thing. Someone had asked me about that, and I wasn't there for it, but that makes perfect sense. The logistics of the building, where Royce, I'm sure, would have come out the door screaming and yelling, John screaming and yelling. The only room there would be to drive out would have put him inches from the door, inches from Royce. Wow. And knowing Royce, I didn't have to be there to see the scene. I'm sure that, he dramatized it into what it became.
In your honest opinion, did you feel like that John would get behind the wheel after having a couple?
Oh, not honest opinion. He did. When we first started the show, we would record at the end, what was the end of the day for Royce and I, and like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon for John. So we had beers. There was a fridge in the office, and John was cracking beers. He brought beer. There was already beer. Beers were going down. And the problem was he was drunk before the podcast was over. So Royce was like, we can't keep doing this way. So
correct me if I'm wrong
in the morning.
Don, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was also the time where he would announce that he's at Pickwick every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time.
Definitely.
You can come down and fight me. I'm there every day at 3:00. And so by the time he would show up to do the podcast, he's already drunk, bringing more beers and drinking the beers that are there. And then when you're done, he gets in the car and drives home.
I thought for sure it would only be a matter of time. I thought he's announcing it to the world. And he's kind of a known figure. I'm sure at Pickwick Pub, everybody, if they didn't know him for his time in the entertainment business, they knew him as the drunk at Pickwick who kept talking about what a big shot he was. So he was known enough. I cannot believe nobody arrested him, that no cop wanted the easy ticket to just go park across the street from Pickwick and wait. And there's a DUI, easy one.
Oh, there you go. There's the couch cushions.
Oh God! Only in upstate New York.
Yeah, we had a biological hazard sign next to it for people. Did you ever see his video where he got pulled over in Florida?
Oh, I did. That was fantastic. Yeah.
You talk about cops who missed an easy layup. I mean, that, you know. John Colludi, hey Don, can you confirm or deny that Drunky tried to hit Royce with his car? Yeah, I think you just talked about that.
I was just saying, I wasn't there for it, but I know. So here's the thing: Royce and I were friends before he started this business. I knew him for a few years, and I would say fairly well. I mean, I spent time at his home. I knew his stepdaughter and his wife, or common law love interest. I don't think they were ever formally married. But I knew them pretty well, and I knew what kind of person Royce was, and I watched him start his business with a variety of partners and helpers and coworkers. Everyone, including his stepdaughter, left screaming.
Wow.
That no one just calmly quit. No one just said, hey, this isn't for me. Royce never just said, hey, this isn't working out, should let you go. They were giant, huge blowouts with deep personal digs at one another. So I'm sure, I find it very easy to believe that is how that relationship came to an end. I do know that Royce gave him a lot of equipment so he could go and do his own podcast on his own. Just take it and go.
Get out of my life.
Correct.
Gift.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
I had a question regarding, we all know he loves to drink. It seems lately that he loves to party a little bit down Blow Street, if you will, a little cocaina. I'm just curious if that was
driving
ever
that train, if you will.
Yeah, if that was ever discussed or
discussed in that it had happened in the past or was a part of his life, but not that it was happening then.
Right.
He wasn't trying to score it. He didn't look like he was going to do a bump in the bathroom. He wasn't didn't have the grinding or the usual stuff. So I didn't feel like he was using it or could even afford it if he had access to it. He mostly drank, occasionally smoked weed, which didn't make sense to me because I smoke weed more than I drink. So we're opposite people to begin with. But yeah, he would just smoke a little weed once in a while. I never saw him do coke, but he talked about it. And definitely in the, back in the old days sort of way, or was the Scores, the strip club, kind of those kind of stories, that era when he was cool, when, he could go out and everybody knew him and the cops could pull him over when he was high and drunk and they didn't care. They just sent him on his way and that kind of stuff.
Was he doing any online dating during your time together?
Yes.
Did he bring any of the girls around? How big
he never brought any around, but he was on an online date the night the Trump phone call took place. He was going out, and it was a long process because it was an initial call in and then a call back.
Oh, can I ask real
he had
quick,
a dinner date. Sure.
Don, I'm sorry. Can I ask, was that call recorded in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, wait a minute. I take that back. I don't know. The beginning of the call was recorded in California when we called into the White House and then into to Jared Kushner. But it was later that he got Trump on the line. Trump called him back. That was recorded on somehow John got somebody else to record it. I don't know who or how or what. I was home just living my life, and Royce calls and he's like, "You're not going to believe what we got." And he tells me about this recording. He's like, "I'll play it for you in the morning. I got to go wind down." He's all dramatic, and I don't know what to do with this, and this is really going to blow up. And the next day, every news outlet that he reached out to absolutely could care less. No one returned his call. No one took his call. He used Stuttering John's name and the president's name, and no one cared.
Well, it didn't go anywhere.
Finally,
a little like a UK newspaper ran an article, and that is the article that blew up. And then it went like for a couple of days. It was a thing.
and then people listened to it and realized, well, this fucking sucks. This went nowhere.
It went nowhere. He had nothing. He wasn't prepared to do it. It wasn't planned. I'll be fair. It really wasn't. It was in that moment on the show. It just seemed like a good idea. And and it was my phone. I'm the one who called the White House switchboard. So so I'm always afraid I'm on some list somewhere, but because it was just patched into the board. And for some reason, he started in with the British accent, and that's what he was going with as the assistant to, as if the whatever senator from New Jersey is going to have a British assistant touring California. But it was just slapped together in a hurry. But I credit Royce. Very proud of it.
Like describe kind of like his reaction once it did get picked up by that one outlet. What was was that all he was talking about at the time?
He was in star mode. Then it was it was get me to this studio and that studio. Royce, you got to make sure I have lunch. I'm going to need a different shirt. Trump's wife had that jacket and it said something on the back. I don't remember, something about I don't care.
I don't care.
And so they had me quickly scramble together at a vinyl cutter and a heat press and put together a similar shirt, like a green t-shirt with the words on it for one of the interviews. But he was very much, it was like, he was back, back in the high life again. And, this was going to be something.
And it's more about, now what more could he get from Royce because of what he did? And so now he's bossing around Royce. I need you to take me here. I need you to get me clothes. And Royce can't say a fucking thing because this thing went viral.
Right. Royce would call me and get me on it. Or, and Royce did plenty. I wasn't just the errand boy, but it was an exciting time. I mean, Mark Hamill retweeted me. I mean, that's
right.
Who am I?
Right.
Luke Skywalker's retweeting me.
John claims John claims him and Mark Hamill are really good friends.
I can't fathom how that's possible. Greg Grunberg, firstly, Mark Hamill would never come on the show. Royce tried and tried and tried and tried. Well, I don't know why his good friend wouldn't come and do his podcast.
Exactly. Great point.
Greg Grunberg came on. If you're familiar, he is J.J. Abrams' best friend since kindergarten. He's in everything J.J. Abrams does. You know his face. He's been an X-Wing pilot. He was the pilot on Lost in the first episode. He was on. He was in Heroes. Anyway, he in the wake of that Trump call, he was like many people in Hollywood at the time, anti-Trump. So he was excited. Right. He wanted to come on. He did the show. He invited John down to Comic-Con. He had kind of a celebrity band that they would perform. He invited John to play with him. Royce and John went down. High on life. Royce was really stoked. This was going to be a big opportunity. John got wasted, and Grunberg made some comments to Royce like, no turning him off, huh? Made a fool of himself. Grunberg was gone, out of the scene.
Wow. No turning him off.
It went from Royce was going to hook him up with Star Wars video games and stuff to no more return calls. Just gone. Like he was never there.
Ouch.
I don't want to divert. So that question was about his dating life at the time.
Oh, sorry.
We hear a little bit more about that.
Went down a rabbit hole. Well, I know I don't. I mean, he was definitely single, and he was definitely online dating, which I thought was unbelievably bizarre. And I still do whenever I see or hear of somebody with some celebrity status putting themselves out in the dating world. But anytime we had anyone in the studio, like he was so creepy. We had Bobby Brown. I don't know.
Sure.
He's Cherry Pie from Warren.
Yeah. Janie Lane's ex-wife.
Janie Lane's ex-wife. Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't need to tell you, she's a rock star's wife. She's stunning. She's beautiful. Way out of John's league. Now, playing another sport that's out of John's league. But he was so creepy about, hey, we'd get together and just creeping on her, asking her out. The same with Gretchen Bonaducci.
Sure. Yeah.
She would come on and he was creepy and just slimy. Heather McDonald, same, slimy, creepy. Like I hated being around it because I felt like I was going to be viewed in the same light, even though I would never see these people again and it wouldn't matter. I hated it.
Would he describe to you like what the dates were like? Was he like trying to give you the juicy details?
They were always top. No, not the juicy details. They were always top end dates, though. They were always nice restaurants with high end food and high end drink. I don't know if any of that. I doubt it, but that was his claim. And I'm sure high end, I guess, is relative.
All right, darling, here is a cockroach. I'm going to ask you to put this in your food at the very end of the night.
Galaxy wants to know, how fucking tall do you think John is?
I have a slightly crooked hips. I'm 5'10" on my good leg, 5'9" or so on my other leg.
Okay.
And John, no matter which way I'm leaning, John was definitely hovering around here on me. So 5'6", maybe in that range, 5'7".
Yeah, I think
maybe a little less. Very diminutive, very doughy looking in person. Just what you see on the internet. The internet doesn't lie. It was still the beginning of the spindly. What didn't have the fully spindly arms yet. He was heading in that direction. The roundness of him and he still could have turned it around at that point if he wanted to. And he was occasionally working out. After the Trump call, he did have a moment where he thought maybe, there he is, that something might come of it. Because I remember him talking about how he worked out for his boxing match at sometime in the Stern show, and he was kind of simulating that workout so he could get in shape for all the potential things that Royce was going to get him. That again, no one was returning calls for,
and all that clunge that he's dealing with online.
Exactly. Knee deep in it.
Rake victim. Oh, hey, Deluxe Don. Thanks for dishing, girlfriend. See, they love you here. Look at this. Best guest Uncle Rico has ever had. Love this dude. Let's go Dodgers. Oh, hey, Don.
Hey, Dodgers. All right.
It's I'm thinking about, that was his next claim to fame. The Trump call was going to do it. Now, had he been smart, start calling other politicians.
Right. It doesn't have to be presidents. It could be just any politician.
Right.
Yes.
Make it a cottage industry.
Yeah.
Well, that was the beginning of the idea that I did see him attempt. We all know the famous Melendez family suit video where he went with the Nudes Max idea to try to approach
DC.
Politicians.
Yes.
Yeah. It was originally the Royce plan was to have him in Hollywood harassing celebrities, which makes perfect sense. And that's kind of the only thing he did well. Right. I mean, I know he had people writing for him and helping him and guiding him, but still, I don't know if I would have the balls to stick a microphone into some of the people's faces that he did and say some of the things he did. So I can't take that away from him. I don't call it a talent. And he's so stupid he stopped doing the only thing that was good. And he had an opportunity. Royce would have bankrolled it and got it off the ground if he had done it. And they couldn't get it together.
Wow.
Well, beers take precedence, man. You can't drink if you're working.
I had a question. When you would go out with John, how many times did you hear him tell people that he was a celebrity or kind of name drop the Stern Show or the Tonight Show or list his credits?
Very seldom. I mostly interacted with him at or around Royce's. So he was talking to people who kind of already knew who he was or were more famous than him. Like the guys from Jackass came in one day, Chris Pontius.
Right.
Really nice guy.
Party boy.
And that was another where he walked in and he was like, what have I gotten myself into? I'll do it. You can see the vibe. But it's also at the same time, here's a cool arcade. It's a warehouse full of vintage arcade machines. So everybody had fun, like exploring and looking around and, playing Miss Pac-Man or whatever. So it was cool. But most of the time he wasn't constantly. Now he would get angry. He and Royce might argue, or he might come at me because I posted something he didn't like that Royce told me to post. And he would remind me that he knows better. He knows how radio works. He knows how to promote things, that sort of stuff. But so he would remind me of his past.
I know you watch WATP a lot. Have you seen him working the board on Stephanie Miller's show? Those clips, him with the fader.
Just a few.
It's so bad. I've never seen a guy just keep moving the level in just increments, little by little, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's unbelievable.
He has no idea really what he's doing from a technical standpoint. Right. Technology is totally out of his grasp. I don't know what he's learned, but part of what I was stuck doing was everything technical for him. That's why I had access to his Twitter and his email and the rest of his social media. I was posting his podcast and I was posting to YouTube. It was my account actually that we first posted the Trump call on, because we needed something to get it out there the first night, and he didn't have a YouTube account. So yeah, he's just a disaster.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
Don, did you ever see anyone recognize him?
No.
Did you ever, follow-up question, did you ever see him write something funny?
No.
Okay,
no. And
Yeah.
I still can't believe it and it sticks in my head. He ended the Trump call by saying Baba Booey. As whose show do you think you're on? You're on your own show. You said it's recorded. And it's one of those things that's stuck in my head all these years. And it's a perfect example of who he is, how unoriginal he is, and how little he has going talent-wise.
And how stuck he is in the past, right? That's yeah.
Oh, hey guys.
Oh, hey, Discount Don. What's up, buddy?
I had a question for Don. Oh, hey, Don.
Don on Don.
It's got a nice ring to it. Don, when you were posting messages on social media on John's account, did you have to use bad grammar to make it look authentic?
Excellent question. No, I didn't. I didn't realize how bad it was. I did. Royce did ask me often to make it sound like John, and a lot of times he just told me what to post or what to write. I wasn't out there, being a substitute John. I was just doing the manual labor of the posts. It wasn't my creative energy.
So can we adopt Don? I vote he stays. Yeah, listen, he's welcome here, carte blanche, anytime. Are you kidding me?
That's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't even know that.
I'm having
now
a
when he
blast.
doesn't get the link, he's going to start publishing my text messages with him. Thanks, Shuli.
That's been happening a lot lately. Don, you have the missing episode where SJ makes trans jokes.
Probably. I have all the episodes.
Do you really?
Yeah, I recorded all of them to my laptops and my drives, and I have everything backed up. I did a whole Stuttering John.
We just became best friends.
John.
I'll happily share what I got.
Rob just ejaculated so much. I mean,
so much.
Tadpoles everywhere.
They weren't heavily edited because I did the editing, but
Sure.
there were some that were edited. Whether it was a
love
flub or a bad set of phone calls before we actually got a person on the line, and it was just that kind
I
of
love
stuff.
it. I love it. Also, do you have something I can promote or plug for you? Do you have a PayPal or a Venmo? Because I know people will fucking shower you with some gifts, and I know I'll send you
I
something.
appreciate it. There's no need. I'll share my Venmo, but there's really no need. This is pure fun for me. I haven't done comedy in a long time. I'm out of the entertainment industry, at least for the time being.
So is John.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a software engineer. I work remotely. I live in Las Vegas. I skateboard 3 or 4 days a week. Just turned 56, and I'm happier than I've been in a long, long time. So I appreciate it. And there's a little part of me that would love to make money off Stuttering John just because I know it would burn him. It would be like a poker in his ass.
Consider it done.
But I'm in a really happy, fortunate place in my life. So I've enjoyed watching the Dabbleverse evolve so much. I'm so grateful, not just to you guys doing professional shows, but to all the people on Reddit that are heaving so much material up there, Photoshop images and AI generated content, and that pick through the hours. I can't do it. I don't know how you guys sit through and pick through the hours of his show. It's unlistenable to me.
Yeah, thank you. It's not easy, I find.
How dare you?
Oh yeah, no. Joe does a lot of it. I don't watch any of it, but
A lot of it, he says.
Do you remember noticing John giving the bartender dirty looks when she didn't meet his gaze or jump to replace John's beer? Yes,
Definitely. Yes.
He was so mad.
He was scowling. He was angry. He was angry at Royce. If not the bartender, he immediately beamed at Royce because, who are you to control him? In his mind, he's on top of his alcohol intake, and it's not affecting him. And if anything, it makes him better. So who is Royce or anyone else to tell him what he should be drinking? And that was definitely an issue that evening because it was a room full of people. I mean, Royce invited a lot of folks there, and he had, catering available. There was food, snacks, drinks, beers. It was a nice little affair. such that it was. So it was readily available to him. So that was something Royce had to manage, which you could see was frustrating because he had to manage the whole shoot. There's guys on, tracks with rolling cameras and all these lights and all the generators out. It was a professional production. I can't take anything away from that. And Royce was managing all that as well as John's beer intake.
Well, as somebody who bought that stream, that was the disappointing thing for me was that John was railroading all the conversations with his input. Like we wanted to hear Billy and Jackie and Wax Poetic and stuff, and just share the stories, the behind the scenes stuff on being on the Stern Show at that great time during the Stern Show. And John would just bulldoze through with his, what happened with me is that this happened. And then he would talk about how much he was like, he hated Stern and how Stern screwed everybody. And everyone else was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
They're like, we didn't come here to shit on the guy. We came here to reminisce and tell some fun stories and bring in Stern fans that want to hear the behind the scenes, stuff.
That was John was positioned there in Royce's world as kind of the centerpiece of what he was building, which was resurrecting people's kind of careers, giving them something. So it will be podcast. It will be, something on Royce's network that he was building out. So John probably went into that thinking that he was kind of the star of this thing, and Jackie and Billy are there just to kind of support him when it couldn't be further from the truth. I think Jackie and Billy, I feel personally was the most interesting guest because he's led the most interesting life outside of the Stern Show. He's gone on, he's the Red M&M, right? Come on.
He's everything. He's everything. Yeah.
I mean, Royce had one of the Bugs Bunny pinball machines there. He voiced the Space Jam movie. Yep. What a cool, interesting career. Ren and Stimpy, right? So how could you not be impressed? Jackie, after he left the Stern Show, I kind of lost track of him, but another interesting guy. I wanted to know what he was doing. I would have wanted to know more about Jackie. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think John had positioned himself as the star of that show.
Right, and definitely the MC, if you will. That's going to be, moving things along.
Well, that's the thing. That era of the show was so strongly written. There was a lot of sketches they used to do. It was a lot of amazing moments of that show that was all the brainchild of Stern. It was Jackie writing for Stern, Fred, and Billy just bringing it home, cracking it, hitting that home run and making those voices funny. The Jackie puppet, the Mandela sketch, all those sketches that were unbelievably creative. Part of the, and that was like, I'm like dug in. I'm like, I can't wait to hear all the fucking juice, all the stories. And he just fucking he just shit all over it for me. I was like,
that's funny too. You said you paid what, $1.99 or something for it. When Royce first put that out, it was going to be very expensive. It was going to be behind a paywall. It was going to be like $30 or $40 per view. And, he was thinking easily 10 or 15,000 views. There's easily that many Stern fans willing to pay. And obviously, of course, it never went anywhere at all. And as the time went on, I had left, somebody had sent me a message of an extremely low cost or maybe even free version of it that was out there at that point. So I how far the mighty had fallen. Rather amusing.
Chelino. Don, how bad did John's feet smell? Also,
fucking awful. And he not only did he have those dirty white sneakers that he wore, but he also had they weren't flip flops. They were like those shoes you slip on, like shower type shoes, or the open toed sandal. And I think that was the first time I saw the toenails that were inside of those shoes, and it definitely all fell into place then. Because I thought I was willing to blame cats. I thought it was like cat piss. Or cats in the shoe. But
maybe they were. Maybe they pissed in the shoes. Who knows?
But I think it was. And
Chelino says, also, Don, you realize you're now drawing first blood on the Duke.
Yeah, sure.
There's that. Dumbo first blood coming out this next summer. Was his wardrobe very small? Same things often?
Yeah, definitely. And very casual. It was, like shorts or fleece shorts and like a t-shirt, and always the same handful of T-shirts. Always a Tonight Show T-shirt in the mix. The occasional ill-fitting polo. But he would also a lot of times be doing the show after moving arcade machines. So this might have been like his workwear that I was seeing the most of. I never saw the suit in person, but I remember him having to go get it and having to get cleaned up for one of the news interviews. I don't know if it was like MSNBC or CNN. Somebody had him on, and he was, of course, not prepared. So he had to go running to get cleaned up and ready and get it together. And I remember him showing up, hair all slicked, fresh, clean, shaven, which looks shocking because you're so used to see him disheveled. It actually it's off-putting to see him clean and remotely put together.
It's like a homeless makeover. You ever see those YouTube videos?
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin Don Dada wants to know, Don, how caught up are you on current Dabbleverse and John? Just curious. Good question.
I'm a very avid Redditor. My Reddit cake day is within a couple of weeks of Reddit itself. So I'll be 19 on Reddit this year.
Wow.
So I've been using it all along. And of course, I subscribe to the Dabbleverse. So I see the daily news feed as it goes by. I can't watch every single thing or follow every storyline, but enough to see him drifting in and out of podcasting. The other day, I saw the photo of his mom over his shoulder. And I mean, that's just so sad. You ever see a picture of like after a forest fire, the raccoon is standing there looking all confused and bewildered, like, what happened? What happened? That's how I felt his mother was looking in that room. Like, what happened? How could it be?
It's like an old person and the village behind them is in ruins and they're they're the only thing left,
Yes. I genuinely feel for her.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lucy.
Do you have a craziest moment for you within the Dabbleverse? Like, is there something that you were really like, whoa, I cannot believe that happened?
Now it's that clip of him falling into the wall that you guys played. Before that, the green screen failed.
That was great.
Oh yeah,
undeniable.
That was good. The roach.
The roach and any drunken singing, babbling. I had for a while. I don't know what I was using it for, but I had him. He was singing "Tub Thumping" by Chumbawamba.
Oh yeah. Oh, we have that.
And I had that on a loop for something. I find it every once in a while. I don't know what I was doing with it, but I mean, how can you? Some of it's funny to watch. He's fun to watch. Just that's what a lol cow is, right?
Yeah.
And what I don't understand is why he hasn't leaned. Well, I do understand why he hasn't leaned into it. His ego.
That's what makes him the lol cow. Is he can't lean into it? You know.
Oh, and there's a tremendous amount of camaraderie and support and love amongst the various dabblers, which is also kind of it's fascinating because there's so much hate and misery that comes from and around John that the people who have built this community. It really is a community. Everybody's I not attended DabbleCon, but that just
you're going to be at the next one, fuckers.
No, listen, where the next one was planned to be. You tell him, Shuli.
What?
Where the next DabbleCon where we were going to go with Lenny.
Oh, Vegas. Yeah, we're thinking of Vegas.
I'm already here. Way ahead of
you. Yeah. Oh, you live there. Cool. I used to live there too, man.
Yeah.
Okay, Don, can you confirm he purchased 2 of every shirt to avoid doing laundry?
No, I never saw anything like that. These shirts had stains on them, and he's always disheveled. Sometimes an inside-out T-shirt. I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, but no possible way. He was barely getting by. It's not like he was out buying 2 of everything.
Did you ever see him drink? Did you ever see him drinking Shore?
Oh yeah.
No.
That's what he's doing for a while.
He would come in either with a Gatorade, Powerade, electrolyte kind of thing, and orange juice. Always with some orange juice, whatever else he might have had. But no, I never saw him drink. That might have been smart. But
hey guys.
What's up, Discount?
Quick question, Don. To your recollection, how many beers total did you witness John drinking in one session?
He could kill a 12-pack in a podcast. When Royce did away with the afternoon recordings, John had brought his own beer in and crushed 12 beers
And that was like an hour and a half?
Oh, it was a couple hours.
Okay.
Let's do the math.
As soon as he got there, it's not like he sat down and opened the first one and said, "Welcome to the show." As soon as he got there, cracked a beer and started drinking. And then, I would wrap up whatever I was doing. We'd get set up. We didn't have the permanent studio space yet at that time. So we were rearranging kind of a little office conference space into where we would record. So I'd pull all the stuff out and get it set up. So John would hang around and drink and, whatever, bother Royce for money.
Yes. Today, John pretended he has no idea who Don is. I guess they were letting him know in the chat you were coming on today.
Nice.
I used to do that to me too.
That's exactly how I would say that John would approach it. Also, it's entirely possible he doesn't remember any of that period of his life. I could see where that would be his move, is to say, "Oh, I don't know, this guy's nobody. Who's he? I never heard of him." He's, "But why? You shouldn't have heard of me. I am nobody. I was just the guy that produced your show."
Somebody in the chat said to him today that he was dead naming Ava, and he said to Vince, he goes, "What's dead naming mean?" I mean, he literally said, "What's dead naming?" His son is an active member of the trans community. He's a liberal guy. He had no idea what dead naming.
Well, liberal. I don't know.
Liberal.
He's definitely follows, blows the wind, and I think if then opportunity opened up for him on the conservative side, I'm certain he would flip. If somebody wanted to give him a show, if somebody had a paycheck for him to come on Fox News and contribute, he would absolutely jump at the chance. I don't believe that he even has the intellect to understand what he's talking about. And I used to watch a lot more back when he had the Army major on.
Yes. Ojeda.
Yeah. And you could tell that guy is trying to make a career out of being a talking political head. But he would be, there with John and maybe some other lunatic. And, he would try to make a serious point. And you could see John just not grasping. No idea what's happening. He just had somebody willing to be on his show. So, but I never understood the relationship. And I never understood how Ojeda lowered his personal bar to that degree. Because I've also seen him on like CNN or something, or as a legitimate, outlets.
Don, as best you can, please describe the smell, especially on days that Royce had him moving arcade games. Now, before you answer that, did he ever play the arcade games?
A little when there were guests on the show and they were getting a tour of the arcade, they might jump in and play. And there was a brief moment Royce had. I cannot for the life of me remember the 90s celebrity. I can't remember his name, but it's out there. It's and I probably have the video of it as well. But he and John were playing a game together, and they were trying to pitch that as a show, that John will have different celebrities in and they'll play a head-to-head game, like a Star Wars game or a shooting game or something, and they'll interview while playing the game. Obviously it went nowhere. And that was another guy who came on and suddenly wouldn't return Royce's calls. Like Royce knew him, called him, got him there, and then suddenly nothing anymore.
John's like a deterrent, man. He's like a shield. He goes up, nobody can come on this show anymore.
I can't remember who it was. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Christy, 27 months. Thank you, Christy. It's so fun to watch the reaction to John's stupidness through the eyes of a newbie. This must be what it's like to have a baby. Welcome to the Dabbleverse,
Thanks. It really is. It's been a joy to watch this all happen, and I really do find it unbelievable. When it first blossomed, what was the young lady, the comedian that said the word dabble?
Oh, Chrissy Mayer.
Chrissy Mayer. So, I mean, that set all this off. And, when I first saw that in the beginning, I was like, okay, sure. This all makes sense. And somebody seized on that. Sure. I never imagined it would keep snowballing and going and going and going. And I'm thinking about when I was talking to Karl the first time, and he said his wife was going to be sexy Stuttering John for Halloween.
Yeah. It's funny because, again, the question, the comment she made was a nothing comment. I heard you dabbled in comedy. Right. The reaction is what got everybody going. And then they're like, Well, I wonder how he'll react to X, Y, and Z. And they see the reactions are always the same, completely out of left field, completely out of his mind, way overreacting, freaking out, not knowing what he's talking about. And now the internet's like, we got a new toy. Let's go. Let's play.
Priceless.
Yeah. Let's be honest. John is terrified of Don.
Yeah.
Thanks for the laugh. So glad you booked this guest. Can't wait to hear the buffoon's response. Well, it's going to be the same thing. I can predict exactly what's going to happen. He's going to say, so what? I don't care. No big deal. I don't care. And then towards about an hour or more into the show, he'll get another super chat about it. And that's when he'll start doing a little bit. By the next day's show, then it's going to be fully dedicated to Don and what a piece of shit. I know where you live. I know who rides that motorcycle in your garage. You know, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and he's got to, this guy was never there. He brought in some equipment, and I never saw him.
It was Royce's equipment, not his.
The problem is, Don, that he's got an entourage of people that are helping him around him that like give him advice, tell him when things are happening.
Of course,
but they're all trolls. But they're all trolls. They're all fucking with him. So everybody's fucking with him, and
everyone knows that, right? I mean, that's kind of common knowledge in the Dabbleverse. That's one of his great qualities, is he's so clueless that people are trolling him right to his face, and he doesn't pick up on it.
Well, he's still, I mean, he's got no one to blame but himself. Like today, he had Vince on his show again, and Vince is like one of the biggest trolls in this guy's life. We got nothing compared to what Vince has done.
He is ground zero of trolling.
Yeah. And it's not like, ha ha, you look stupid, trolls. It's like, I'm going to send people to your house at all hours of the day and night to deliver you tampons and douche.
Videos.
It's like, it's fucking crazy.
Thoughts on your ex-producer Don doing Uncle Rico tonight? Who gives a fuck?
Who?
I don't know. Some guy that used to work in fucking the arcade with Royce. He'll come in there and trash me. It was fucking, 10 years ago now that I've been with Royce? Who gives a fuck?
Oh, I love that. I love that there's a shelf life for his shit, but everyone else.
How long ago were you on the Leno show? That was over by the time I came into the picture.
I filed for bankruptcy 20 years ago. This fucking guy brings it up like I did it yesterday. I had a fishing ticket. A fishing ticket. He brings up as if they got my mugshot hanging up. Can you imagine trolling him to his face? What brought an end to SJ and Royce's friendship? I imagine
I
SJ.
guarantee it's Royce. I mean, John being John, sure, and it's inevitable. As you've seen, he's burned through people in the Dabbleverse already. But like I said, everyone left Royce's that partnership or working relationship screaming, red-faced, angry. And one day Royce came in with a swollen lip. Clearly somebody punched him. And also a business relationship that he had no longer existed.
Okay.
So, he had an accident at home over the weekend, he said. That's what happened to his lip.
Yeah.
And also, we don't do business with this guy anymore. So everybody that worked with Royce had a problem.
Vitamin dealer, I'm late to the party, so my bad if it's been asked, but did John ever talk about Aaron and complain about him, the new husband for his ex-wife or the guy she was dating?
No, I don't recall him ever bringing him up or discussing. He would talk about his kids and his various his financial problems in his life, but I don't remember him talking about his ex-wife or anything that was happening there, other than that he was always portraying that he was a good active father and active in their lives. He was doing stuff with them. He had done something with them over the weekend, or he was making plans, or his son was a stud. He was getting a little girlfriend or something, things like that made him sound like kind of normal fatherly stuff. So I never knew really what kind of parent he was until more and more came out on the Dabbleverse, because it just never really came up. Right. I would assume he was a terrible father, but
has Don heard the Saint Meanie tapes? Hi, Lucy. Sorry if this has been asked already. Love you guys. Frog, Godspeed on all the new shows to listen to.
Is this Kevin Meanie's daughter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I have seen some of them and some clips from them where he's clearly creeping on this. What's she, 20 something?
She's 24 when he first started talking to her. He at some point during their conversation, he was a dickhead to her. So she decided to record their conversation since he always called her drunk off his ass, and was being a fucking creep and a manipulator, right? And so the tapes come out, and he's burned, and he breaks it off with her. And then about 5 months later, he initiates contact with her again.
Okay, because I saw her come back into the world.
And got recorded again, second time. So there was two seasons.
From what you heard of the tapes, would you say that was kind of how he was talking about women at the time that you knew him? Does it feel very similar?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, definitely. Yeah, nothing. He hasn't changed at all. He hasn't changed since how he talked about women, like in the Stern Show days, or anyone else for that matter. That's why I say this liberal thing is just an act. His gut reaction is to say offensive things, and I'm sure that having a trans child has just fractured a piece of his brain, because how do you I can't think of the term I'm looking to say, rectify or how do you balance that out? Reconcile. That's exactly. That you've spent so many years making fun, throwing slurs around, and now, surprise.
Well, did you hear him use homophobic slurs, shall we say?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Well, I don't understand.
That's why I say the liberal thing was all an act.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's not an ally of the LGBTQ plus community?
Had he just watched Fast Time at Ridgemont High?
That might be. He blamed it on that in the tapes.
Yeah.
Shithouse Mouse, greatest guest ever. Just another example of exposing that piece of shit. Love all the stories. Thanks for coming on, Don.
Oh, it was my pleasure. This is great.
Noga. I thought John wired the Trump call through New York because California is one party state.
You would believe I promise he wants the world to think that he was that smart to work all this out. The reality was he had nobody to record this call. We did the podcast. It didn't go any further. Royce went home. I went home. John went on his online date, and suddenly his phone lit up with an opportunity to talk to Trump. So he scrambled. So I guess he called somebody he knew that was able to record it, because it wasn't Royce and it wasn't me. Even though we ended up with the tape and we ended up, publishing it, putting it out to the world. So I don't know actually who recorded it.
And if it was somebody in New York, if that story's legit, he would have said who it was by now. He's never said who it was. Right. It wasn't anybody in New York. He definitely had somebody recorded out of the West Coast, which is hilarious because according to him, he went to the FBI because he was recorded by Kate, who lives in New York, one-party consent state, but he was in California, two-party consent state. And so I guess that rule applies when John's being recorded, but not when the president's being recorded. Got it. Good evening, Don. How good did it feel to get all that off your chest in that first video? I'm sure it felt wonderful.
Yeah, it was very cathartic. Because that when you leave a situation like that angry and there's no real closure, and then you see everything that blossomed around it. It was back on my mind, quite a lot, and I don't have any regrets. Sometimes I kind of wish I hadn't been involved. Moments like these make me glad that I was, because it's so much fun, and all the dabblers have made this so much fun. But it's not something I'm sentimental about. I don't look back and go, boy, I wish I could have done that differently, or if I ever get a shot like that again, I hope I have balls enough to kill myself. At that point in my life, I was so low. I needed that job. LA's an expensive city, and I had bills to pay.
Here we are.
Check this out.
Like the baby. Are you ready? Oh, 1 out of 2. Fuck.
By the way, that's more in tune than that song we just played.
Well, let it build. Watch this build, man.
I hate it so much.
Here we go. You cannot write this shit. I mean, you just cannot.
Yeah.
No, you can't, because if you did and asked him to act that out, you would get the biggest piece of shit imaginable if you could even understand what you're asking of him.
Also, if you get a meeting with a studio, they'll go, "This can't be real. Nobody's this dumb. Nobody is capable of being this oblivious." And you're like, no, this guy's for real.
Don, have you ever seen his movie?
Oh, one too many.
Oh no, I've only seen the cover and I've read the pieces of it going by in the Dabbleverse, and I think I might have seen a clip or two, maybe. But I have definitely not seen the movie. And I remember being surprised one day during the podcast, he had mentioned being on Wings, which I felt was a respectable show and, spawned some pretty talented people. So I naturally wondered how he would have got lumped in.
Howard Stern.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've always felt that that's how he got the Leno show. Not that obviously he wasn't talented, but Leno just wanted to tap that audience. His audience was getting kind of geriatric, and it was well known that the younger demographic was skewing toward Letterman and anybody else that was on any of the other ancillary talk shows. So as soon as I heard Stuttering John was going to that show, I didn't know him at all then, but that was my thought. This is stunt casting. Get the name and bring the Stern fans with you. And suddenly, overnight, you would have an army of the most loyal fans on the planet, which they were, certainly at the time. I'm sure many still are. But that's sincerely how I think he ended up on that show, regardless of what he believes or anyone else says.
Have you ever seen or heard him selflessly do anything for anybody? Pay for a lunch, give homeless some change, anything.
So I wanted to remember to look that channel up. So I was grabbing a screenshot of the guy's name. That's Sheet Shitterson? Okay. No, I never remembered him paying for anything the opposite, actually. That was one of Royce's constant complaints, was that this was costing him money every single day. John, like I said, that was Royce's term, in his pocket. Those aren't my words.
Yeah. Do you ever see him as like a baby, like just so childish and immature and, Oh,
every time he gets the slightest bit offended and starts ranting and whining and
here's a perfect example.
Child.
Here's a perfect example. This chatter Nan Cram pissed him off. Look at this.
Cram man, be human and leave Chad's out of it, for God's sake. Really, Nan Cram? Did you see the title of his show yesterday, Nan Cram? Did you see the title of his show yesterday, Nan Cram? Did you see or hear what he's been saying about my family, Nan Cram? Touche, bitch. You can't have it both ways, Nan Cram.
Touche, bitch.
Scram, Nan Cram. That should be a member for 16 months.
How do we not have the drop touche, bitch? We got to get that drop.
Yeah,
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
When he takes these breaks where he's finished and he's through and he goes away, how does your dynamic change? Are you in scramble mode?
Yeah, a lot of soup.
A lot of soup and crying by a dumpster out back. No,
a lot of goodwill.
We did that. Like this last time that he left, he was gone. And we were at the point where we were doing this so much. And I was burnt out. Everybody was burnt out. We were like, great, let's move on to some other stuff. Let's move on to some other people. And we did. But this guy, right? His plan was, if I leave, they're going to have to stop talking about me. His plan worked, right? It was working. We were moving on. What does he decide to do in all his genius wisdom? Come back and file a lawsuit against Karl and I. So, what are we supposed to do? They pulled us back in.
I thought the premise for WATP was a great idea.
Yes.
Just rating other people's podcasts. Sure. And a great title and professionally produced, but Stuttering John took that whole show over. I don't even know if they talk about anything else anymore.
They do. They do.
Yes. Every single episode still features.
Oh, okay.
Every single episode still features a let's make fun of this really shitty podcast. They still talk about Opie, tons and tons of other lol cows.
Yeah, we found, energy drink reviewers, a vacuum reviewer. We found people that are just gold, and we love them. And then we had to stop watching them because dipshit came back. And now we're back to shit like this. This should be his next special.
By the way, that's how he opened his show one time, eating a banana. That was his big entertainment.
Yeah, Mars decided to put an ape face on him, but everything else is as is.
Yeah. And Mars added comedy to it.
Mars made it funny.
I mean, this is the guy you had to work with, right? This is the dude that would come in, drink 12 beers, and then this is what you got at him.
Love these. Pickle.
He opens up his, I don't know if you've seen him, but he opens up his shows eating sometimes, eating soup, eating crackers.
I've never seen him eat soup, but I've seen him eating and always slurping.
Yeah, comedic eating, much like his dancing. Very funny.
Is that what he thinks this is?
Yeah.
Is this a bit?
Yeah, he thinks this is funny.
I don't think that he thinks that it's funny. I think that he thinks he's doing it to piss us off. And that's more offensive. And I know that I've said that a million times at this point, but it is so offensive to me that when he is creating his show, that he's making it for the haters more than he's making it for his fans. I hate that so much.
Does he have any actual fans anymore? Like, could he live off of his fans?
Beer Can Jerry, maybe. Beer Can Jerry might take him in. Yeah, he's still going. This is his show. What is he going to do? Talk about something?
Sometimes he'll sleep on his.
And is this
podcast?
now a green screen on top of a green screen? Because that's the balcony behind the Duke, the Hollywood Hills Duke.
Right. The balconies are background.
Right. The balconies.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
The middle holla. That's what I agree.
Look at it. His thumb is so fucking bent and mangled that the laptop thinks he's doing a thumbs up. So it's giving him the thumbs up. His thumb is sideways, and it's sideways, and it's reading it as thumbs up.
So is he sitting there and going to drink 4 warm tall boys?
Of course. There was a rumor there that his fridge broke down for a while. Do you know anything about his landlord giving him shit back then when he was at that apartment? Because he talked himself about getting various warnings. One for dumping litter by the dumpster in the parking lot out back, and then like on the ground, not in the dumpster. And then there was some other stuff.
I think he caught some heat for the motorcycle being parked either too long or in the wrong place, or there was something about it. But and he had to move it. And he did have a bunch of stuff for a while. He was storing at Royce's, I think.
Right.
But I don't remember. Yeah, just the motorcycle is the only thing that sticks out. Oh, and one time, and I don't know if this is true, this is according to him, the Secret Service came to that apartment looking for him after the Trump call. Because, of course, I mean, I don't know, I was a little nervous. It's the government under the guise of a unhinged president. But I don't really believe they actually came.
Right. Makes
So
for a better story for him.
It does. Yeah.
You said you went over his house one time for dinner, right?
No, he invited us for dinner. We were there. He had to pick something up
away.
or do something. We stopped there for some reason. And a few days later, he was going to make a beer can chicken. And he had invited Royce and I over. And of course, he was like, Royce, if you want to bring your lovely lady. And I'm thinking, nobody's going to come.
No.
Nobody's going to eat in your house, man.
You got to know this for the LSAT. Yeah. What have you heard the latest that John was talking? Well, this was like 3 weeks ago. John was going to take the LSAT and become a lawyer. He wants to help people.
Okay. Well, what happened to substitute teaching? I thought he was helping kids.
Yeah, he's done helping them. They're on
He
the road.
got in trouble.
Yeah, that was his
Yeah, he got in trouble at his last teaching gig. He had to attend a Zoom court hearing, and he decided to do that while substituting. And there was some dabblers in the Zoom as well, and one of the kids popped up on the Zoom. The judge and John, and John had to resign afterwards, and of course blames everyone else. He had nothing to do with it. John says he's the biggest advocate for LGBTQ. Can you name one thing he's either said or done that would justify his claim?
No.
Pretended to accept his own child, I suppose. Pretended to be okay with that.
Did he ever bitch about that to you guys, or
no? He played the role of the concerned parent.
Well, you also weren't a 24-year-old chick he was trying to fuck, too. It seemed to come up in the tapes, his kids. So, how did SJ meet Royce?
So Royce worked at NBC. He was a PA, just a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. And he worked on enough on the Leno show or around the Leno show that's where he met John. And they started, a little kind of friendship thing. And Royce later shared, when he had the arcade going, he reached out and just wanted to get John to do something because the podcast was dying. He was John made he was going to run for governor or something. That didn't amount to anything. So Royce was like, well, why don't we get something going here? And around that time was when Royce had reached out to me to come work for him. I had a job. I was okay. I mean, it wasn't the greatest in the world, but I was fine. But he sold it to me as he never mentioned Stuttering John, that Royce wanted to do all this production and we were going to be producing all this content about the arcade and, all this retro stuff and just everything related to it, science fiction and Star Wars and Disney and all these things. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Of course I want to do that. That sounds like fun. And then after a few weeks, that's when Stuttering John appeared, and it was, well, here's the content we're going to be producing.
Switcheroo. He did the switcheroo on you, pal. Yeah.
So he thought, he's like, John needs help. He doesn't have anyone to produce the show. So, we're going to do it. And then we're going to build something off of that. And that was the Royce approach to it. So they had known each other for a little while.
Right. And Royce was drawn to John because he was a super fan. I mean, that
100%,
was,
yes.
Yeah, that's Opie's Not Funny. Yeah, he's a super fan. So that's why he wanted to get involved. He wanted to get in bed.
Yes.
It's no different than people giving High Pitch Eric their phone number. They want, they're fans. They want to be able to talk to High Pitch Eric until High Pitch Eric has your number. And then you realize what a horrible mistake you've made. And he doesn't leave you alone and asks you to borrow money.
The guy he had out from junior high when they were producing that show, the two of them were like, the whole time they were like, can you believe it? Can you believe we're doing this?
Right. Royce and his buddy were in shock. Yeah.
Exactly. Because there was a big fanboy moment. I get it. I've been a fanboy at places, so I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But I never financed the whole thing and was, gambling with my life to pull it off.
Crazy. Don, how do you assess the odds of John becoming one of America's most successful and respected attorneys?
I can't wait to see the commercials. The late night commercials. Melendez, and Melendez.
I better call John.
Have you been recorded illegally or boxed into a parking spot when you're drunk? Hi.
Have you run out of beer?
Someone dropped blood on you.
Have you had a cat die under suspicious circumstances? Hi, I'm John Melendez. My car doubles as a beer. Don, somebody asked, actually it was Mama Melendez who asked.
I already like this man. Don, did my burden ever talk about how my hubby beat him like the Dutch Spike, a dyke he was? I am waiting for the sweet release of death. Nice tits, Lucy.
No, I mean, I was surprised to learn that he had Northern European heritage. I didn't know. I'm sure that they're thrilled every time he uses their famous toast. But no, he didn't talk too much about his family, his parents, his growing up life, other than blowing his own horn here and there about what a big shot he was at any given time, high school, or he was talented at one point. Somebody thought he was talented. I think he's talked about that, I think, as well. Yeah.
Sure.
I also see it as like the difference between somebody else putting a show together and John having to put a show together. So when John puts his show together, he has to talk about his family. He has to talk about everything because he has nothing else to talk about. Whereas if a show is formatted, then, like he said, he didn't bring up his family a lot. Well, that's because he had a defined role that he didn't have to worry about it. Didn't have to worry about it. Wasn't the host.
Yeah. Royce, I would say Royce pretty much drove the creative direction of that show. And if you ever listen to the prank call episode, it's as plain as day. That's all Royce's idea. He's the one who said, Menendez, do it like a Jerry Callow thing from My Cousin Vinny.
Right.
And that was it right there. That was the moment. Okay, let's do that. And that's how it happened. It wasn't like he had the idea or anything. It wasn't some creative moment. It was just happened.
Did John ever brag about his college days to you? Did he ever have any college stories? For a guy who graduated at NYU, he doesn't seem to have one fucking story.
Yep. No college friends.
I don't remember him talking about any time in school. I went to SUNY. I grew up in New York, and I went to SUNY schools initially for broadcasting and communications. That's where I first learned to edit. With tape on a razor blade. I'm old.
It wasn't SUNY Brockport, was it?
No, I first went to, in my hometown, there was a community college, and then I went to Plattsburgh State. But known for their media programs. So, I mean, and when I came out of school, I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to be a DJ, specifically a radio DJ, like at a rock station, and work my way into drive time. But I was watching that industry change, and I was watching syndicated radio take over, and suddenly the local DJ was no longer like a rock star. A lot of them were barely hanging on to their jobs. So I pivoted away from any form of professional radio.
I'm not going to stand for people to just sit there. That is an actual quote from John that someone made into their screen. Don, did you ever ride on the back of his lady bike?
It didn't run. Run. It was covered in a tarp behind his apartment. I saw it, but no, it didn't run.
Best adjective or noun to describe SJ?
Buffoon was spot on.
We got to do a Mad Libs one night. Yes. What does Don think about Royce being a Disney adult now? Captain
I'm not at all surprised. It was something that he wanted to do more of when he had his business, but he couldn't take the time away and spend the money. When the show wrapped up, that was our reward. We all went to Disneyland. And I don't remember if I don't think John went, actually. Like Royce, the Australian guy, myself, someone else that worked with Royce. His name's escaping me, but he's a hell of a nice guy.
The beers were too expensive, so John wasn't going to spend that money on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Royce is one of these guys. He'll find a way to make money at a thing. I've always been impressed by people like that because I'm not wired that way. Mm-hmm. But he just his mind works that way. He'll see a garage sale and he'll go and negotiate and buy something and flip it on eBay. Or he was constantly bringing in something like that, toys or something that he was flipping on the side or in the arcade. So I mean, he's pretty shrewd in that regard. Now, obviously, he made a bad business decision getting involved with Stuttering John, but I can't take away that he built the business to the point that he did. And I remember when he started off, he's like, I just got a Super Mario Brothers machine or a Miss Pac-Man machine. I'm like, okay, cool. And that was it. He had a machine. And then he built a little arcade in his garage. And then he opened to the public. And then he built the warehouse arcade. So I can't knock him and his willingness to take a risk and put himself out there. He's just an asshole. Disneyland is what it is. It's right there in Southern California, easy to get to. It's a lot, and Disney fans are just like Stern fans. If you can lock in on that audience, you've got them forever. So it's not a bad move on his part, I think.
I appreciate this so much. I am going to sneak out, but thank you guys so much for having me. And Don, I want to reinforce, you brought up the story earlier, but you have arrived. Have arrived. Absolutely, absolutely wonderful and a true pleasure.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, you as well. And you guys, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful night and happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. What are you dressing as something tomorrow night? What are you
I haven't figured it out yet. That's a tomorrow problem.
The great Lucy Typebox, folks. Thank you, Luce. Bye. She's the best.
Finally, let's talk about some real shit.
Let's talk some pussy now.
How stinky is that pussy?
How fucking smelly is that snitch? Stinky. And if you want, please plug your Venmo. We'll put it in the description of the show here. If people want to send you a couple shekels. And I'm definitely going to send you something for your time tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Really,
you really don't have to, but I do get a certain element of joy knowing that it's coming from Stuttering John's back.
Well, just so you know, I get an element of joy from you not being able to say that fucking Jew didn't send me a dime. So that's where I shine. That's where I smile. Don, what I want to know is this: if you know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is. And does it apply to Stuttering John? I would love your thoughts.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Isn't that where you make your kids sick? Which one's
that? That's Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah, I know.
When you're stupid, but you think you're smart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's him, 100%.
Yeah. See, we're actually stupid. None of us knew that. So, we're not pretending to be smart. But yeah, that's what that is, huh?
People with low ability thinking that they're very good at things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We found patient zero. Did SJ store his important documents in trash bags at your house or Royce's?
I'm gonna say he didn't. I don't think he cared about his documents. Like I said, his email was what it was, and I did not see signs of an organized individual. If you've kind of fallen from grace, you've lost your family, you're living in a dingy apartment, you're moving arcade machines for money. That's not the sign of somebody whose life is together. So I'm sure his important documents, he still doesn't know where they are.
Hey, thanks for watching that clip. We got a bunch more stuff from a bunch of different other shows. So if you want to support us, you want to be a part of what's happening here, subscribe, notify, and get yourself a membership. 2 levels, $5, $10. We got more bonus shows than we know what to do with. So help us out. Get in here.